Hello, hello. It's well, hello everyone. I hope you can hear me. I will keep the music playing in the background. I hope it's not too loud. I will turn it down if it's too loud. Just tell me. Well, so this is I am Yoni Live. Most people call me just Yoni. Today I thought to live stream how to develop a Xamarin plugin, a NuGet package. That's my first stream where I live or in any kind develop something for the public. So just need to confirm that my voice is okay. Just a moment. Okay. Seems okay. So, just a little bit about myself, maybe. I'm for quite some time, 8 years or something, a .NET developer, doing all kind of stuff, mobile apps, IoT, websites. I don't know, I tried probably almost anything, well, not anything, but a lot. Mostly I'm developing mobile apps, as I'm now with Xamarin. I love Xamarin, it's awesome. Yeah, currently I'm working on a mobile app called Vibrava, a project of mine, and I was actually doing some improvements into the rating system, or well, the review system. Basically, I wanted to prompt users to review my app after a specific amount of time that they have used the app, or after they have completed a specific task in the app. And yeah, basically I noticed that it's not very convenient to embed all those conditions all around the app, and I thought, okay, maybe it would be better to create some kind of service which handles all the evaluation of the conditions, and if one condition is true, or maybe many of them are true, then we prompt the user to review the app. So yeah, that's the backstory of the idea to create this rating gateway for Xamarin. And I thought, why not stream it live? Why not try that too? Yeah. So basically I'm doing it now from scratch. So not really from scratch. I've done a lot of the heavy lifting already in advance. So I have thought about the architecture of this plugin, and I actually have also done a lot of the development already, because if I would have done it live, this would have become a very long series of of live videos, streams, and probably also boring to watch, because there are many of those moments where you just think and look out of the window and don't really get done anything. So So I've done that already, and I thought now it's time just to put it all together live a little bit faster than without putting some time and effort in it in advance. I did actually not check if there are I did not research if there are some existing rating gateway plugins already for Xamarin. I did not research at all. But I like to sometimes just, I mean, this sounded like a fun project, and I constantly like to develop myself or make, so I thought why not do it myself. And there are probably also very good existing rating gateways already, but well, now we are creating one more. Okay, so let's open Visual Studio. Alright. So I've created a new project already. It's empty. I have some code owner files and license files and a readme. I pushed this already to GitHub. It's a public repo. You can find it here under EG DevLabs Xamarin Rating Gateway. I will put also all the links in the description of the video of my and yeah. I've also created a new Azure DevOps project for this package, so we will also create a basic pipeline which will build and run the tests and package the NuGet and the package and upload it to NuGet then. Alright, but yeah, basic project structure exists. And yeah, as I said, I've already done some work on this. Maybe we should just get started. And create a rating gateway. So the basic idea is that we have conditions which this gateway can evaluate through, and if any of the condition or a set of conditions is evaluating to true, and then the gateway opens the review process for the user. Conditions, I have thought that conditions could also include like condition types that are prerequisites, so they always have to be true in addition to some other conditions. Prerequisites, they cannot they cannot talk for themselves basically. So then we have requirements, required conditions that are always required, that even if a standard condition evaluates to true and a required condition not, then we do not show the review pop-up to the user. So I'm not sure if that's too confusing, but basically in some real life examples, for example, if I have this condition that I do not want to show the review pop-up to a user before 3 days after he installed the app, and he needs to complete a specific action in the app before we show him the review process. So just as an example, this date condition, this could be a prerequisite, and then we have this action which he can probably trigger multiple times over this 3 days and after. So yeah, let me get started. We should start by creating an interface condition. I want to build this package as, how do you say, expandable as possible, so developers can create their own condition types and stuff like that. Oh yeah, before we start adding files, we should configure this project to support multiple platforms. So as you know, probably Xamarin is a framework for cross-platform development. We develop our business logic, which is on a shared layer, and then we have this platform specific projects: Android, iOS, Windows and Mac OS and all this stuff, where we build the views and the platform related logic. Xamarin Forms also creates a shared layer for UI, but we are now creating just a class library, so we do not concern ourselves a lot now with platform specific stuff. The actual opening of the review process, that will be a platform specific task, but that's almost it. Most of our logic here will be on the shared layer, on the business logic, in a .NET standard project. So in order for our project to target multiple frameworks, now we have this basic standard. We target just .NET Core 3.1. That's not a framework that we want to target. So I will now just copy paste what we want to. So here, I don't know if you noticed, instead of target framework we use target frameworks with an S on the end, and then we specify all the platforms, all the yeah, that we want to support or build, compile this package to. We specify Xamarin iOS, Mono Android, Mono Android, Mono Android 9, Mono Android 10, and net standard 2.1. Well, I will target 2.1 because all of the new features of C#8, even though we probably don't use many of them in this project, but at the moment I don't see a point why to support older net standard frameworks. And also for Mono Android we could support 8.0, but well, have to think about that. We specify language version of C# to 8.0. We want to enable the nullable feature for the whole project. Yeah, and here are just the basic assembly name and root namespaces for the project. Yeah, then we need to tell Visual Studio how we want to compile all the different actually let's do that later. Let's just go with that now, and we will configure how different parts of this library are compiled later. Let's just jump into okay, what's that? Oh, the SDK. We need to change the SDK over here to this. Now everything should work perfectly. Reload. Perfect. We will come back to tests later. We will first develop our logic here, and then create tests for it. So I will start by creating conditions. We will also have interfaces. I will put them in a dedicated folder for those, because we don't have many of them. Just a second. Okay, I hope the quality of the stream is not bad. And you can read stuff. So let's yeah, I will adjust the text sizes. Oh, wait a second. Let's see. Like, I'm not sure how to change the text size for the whole Visual Studio. Fonts and colors. Environment. Let's see. Let's oh, that didn't change much. For the Solution Explorer, text editor, Solution Explorer. Well, okay, so put that back to the default. So I hope you can see the Solution Explorer text. I will actually I will make the code bigger. So let's now just create a new interface for our conditions. Mm. So all right. Interface rating condition. It's a public interface, of course. I will add the XML comment stuff, but I will create comments for the whole project probably on my own, not live. So we don't bother ourselves now with them, but oh wait, so now let's try 150. So this is good to me, and hopefully you can see this now better. Okay, so what kind of properties would this rating condition have now? As I mentioned earlier, we will have different kind of condition types, and we need to create an enum for that. I will put it in all folders. I will now call it condition type, even though that it's probably not the best name, but we will go with that. It is an enum. We'll add the summary here, and I will just copy paste the enum values, because this one is pretty hard to write. For non-English people. And now close it. Okay, so we have our condition types. We have standard conditions. We have prerequisites, which are conditions that that need to be true before any other conditions, but they cannot work on their own. They always need other conditions too for the whole thing to work. And then we have requirements, which are conditions that are always required, but unlike the prerequisites, they can work on their own. Yeah. Alright, so a rating condition I want to change the namespace for this. I will put it into the root of this project, just for easier access to it, so you don't have to add all those usings in your projects. Summary for it. We will have a property that is used by the gateway to check if a condition is met. It is read-only. We also have properties which can be used to configure a condition, like for example, okay, I will just add it here. I will add them and then explain. I hope my keyboard is not too loud. I have a really old keyboard. Add the summary for them. Alright, so we have a property which can be used to configure whether a condition is reset by the gateway after it is met. basically if you have like conditions which are one-time conditions, like you don't want to reuse them anymore after they once are met, then you would set this to true, and the gateway would not reset them to their initial values. We have an explicit manipulation only. So this is probably a little bit ahead of time, but the gateway has a workflow which manipulates the conditions. It bumps, for example, if you have a count condition which counts up from 0 or from whatever value, each time a action is triggered, it will bump this condition by 1, and that's all done automatically, except if you want for the gateway to do it only if you explicitly call or trigger this specific condition. Okay, we will get into this later, probably when you see how the gateway actually does what it does, but yeah. Also for manipulation, disallow parameterless manipulation. This one is also maybe better that I explain it later when we get to the gateway code of this stuff, but shortly, basically this also disallows the gateway to manipulate a condition if you do not specify a parameter for this specific condition. Sorry, but you will probably, just let's move on. So I will explain it better when we get to the gateway. Okay, so a condition has also a method which will reset. And then we have the manipulation methods, which will manipulate the current state of the condition. Overload, which takes an object as a parameter, so you can specify a specific value that should be set when a rating action is triggered. And yeah, that's it. This is our interface for conditions, and this is the building block for this whole stuff. This is everything that our gateway needs in order to work correctly, and now we could just go right into creating the base condition. Yeah, let's do that. We will create the condition base. After that we will go into creating the actual gateway. Oh well, we will just add some conditions, some default conditions, and then we go into creating the gateway. I'm not actually sure if I'm able to do this everything today, but we will take this as far as possible today, and this probably will be a stream series of multiple times. Okay, enough talking. I talk too much. Let's just code. I'm not used to talking at all, but still I talk too much. Alright. Okay, so this is an abstract class. And it will take a type parameter. So this is why I earlier said that the enum, the name of the enum that we created, condition type, can be a little bit confusing, because we have also an actual condition type. I don't know, I need to think about it if I rename it later, but now let's go with that. So we have this generic type parameter, condition type, which will define the type of the value that we are manipulating and evaluating, and we implement our interface. And there we go. We will just inherit the doc. Okay. Let's remove those. Just the default implementations. Okay, now we'll condition met. We will come back to that later. Manipulate state, reset. Alright, we will add some more properties to our base class here. Let's add them right above these guys here. So we will have a protected property, which is of the specified type parameter of the abstract class, and it will be the initial value as state for a condition. So we will always set up the initial value on startup of your application. Oh, non-nullable. Oh yeah, right. Let's add where t condition not null. This should remove it. No? Okay. Not. We also add a public current state. It's a public for reading, but we can only set it internally. Okay, what else? Let me just look on my template that I created earlier. Over the past 2 weeks, yeah. Well, basically that's it. We just need to add some constructors. It's an abstract class, so the constructor needs to be protected. Rating condition base. Okay, so we always want to take in the initial state for a condition. We also need a func that that will be used to evaluate when is the condition met. It will look like so. The func will get one parameter, which is t condition type. And it will return a bool. What's wrong here? Condition type, I don't know, and we will call it evaluator. Okay, we will create a second constructor. So as an extra parameter we take in the condition type, If not specified, it will just default to standard. Wait a second, condition type. I think this needs to be read only, right? Because yeah, there is no point in making the setter public, because a condition type should not be changed after you have instantiated one. Okay, that's a mistake here, so fix that. Yeah. Fixed it. The current state will always be the initial state. When we create a condition, when we instantiate one. I don't know if I pronounced it right, but then we will add a read-only. It's a private read-only variable for our evaluator. This constructor will just call the other one. And specify the default condition type as standard. So like that. Oh. So that's why I like Visual Studio. It always tells us when we do something wrong. Well, not always. Okay, now that we have our constructors, add the summaries for them like that. Now we can proceed to the is condition met. Basically what this does is it just triggers this evaluator, which will take as parameter the current value, current state, like that. Perfect. Okay, what else? What else? Okay, we can now also specify default values for these guys. We will the reset after condition met, it will default to true. Because I think it's it will be more how do you say, like the more common approach to to this stuff. Explicit manipulation only, this will default to false, so we will just make it explicit here, so it is a conscious decision of the developer that this property should default to false. I will just, yeah, okay, so disallow parameterless manipulation will also default to false. Wait a second, no, true, sorry, true. Also because it is the more common use case for conditions to allow parameterless manipulation. Let's get to the manipulate state. Those guys will all be virtual, so we can just override them in our so okay, let me see, manipulate state. Okay. We'll just trace that one over here. Then we will add a private or no, protected, so it can be overwritten by implementers of this abstract class, base class. It is an overload for the manipulate state, which is not public, but we use it internally. Okay, so the default parameterless manipulate state method does just nothing. It will be empty because there's not really a way to determine what should be increased. We don't know. Okay, if we have an int type, even then we don't know, do we want to add one, do we want to add two each time this is called, or do we want to subtract one or two? We just don't know, and this is why the base class will just do nothing here. The manipulate state with a parameter, this one, it's an object, so we will check if it matches the type parameter of this class, of the base class, and if it does, we will just call this protected manipulate state overload with that. So if parameter is t condition type cast, I will call it cast, and manipulate state that. And over here we will just set the current state to the parameter. We can also override this default behavior, but in the base class we just set the current state to the parameter, like that. Alright, I guess that's our base class for conditions. Let me get some water. My mouth is really dry. I talk so much, you know. Need some water. Do we have covered everything in the base class? I think yes. If not, we will come back to it. So for now, we will just close it. And the interface too. Let's collapse all those summaries here. As said, I will fill them out off stream because I think that's really boring stuff. Okay, so I like to keep my commits in small chunks, so let's just commit this stuff that we now did here. Let's look through our changes. Okay, yes, we added. Oh, that's not related to what we did now, so let's just do it. Let's stage this one. Okay, yeah. So added solution items, just like that. Commit that one. Let's stage this also. Changed project target frameworks. Okay, commit. Okay, then to our condition stuff. Edit condition. Edit the most basic building blocks for conditions to the project. Let's go with that. Okay, there we go. So now I will sync all the commits later. Yeah, so we have our base condition, rating condition base here. Now let's create some conditions. The most that I think are the most default conditions that one could want to add to their project, to their application. So I will start with a Boolean condition. I think that's probably the most basic condition that you want to add. Boolean rating condition. it's public, of course, and it will implement the rating condition base, and the type parameter is of type bool, like that. So now Visual Studio wants us to add the constructors. So for this condition we can also add just a basic empty constructor, like that. We will add 4 constructor overloads, 4 constructors to this condition. So this one will just give our base the initial state of this condition would be false as a default, and the evaluator, let me see, so if current, so this is our current value which will be passed to us when we check if the condition is met. And we just return the value of it, okay? And the condition type, no, we don't need that. Okay, let's go to our second constructor, boolean rating condition. This one will take a condition type, and again initial value false, same evaluation logic, and the condition type. Okay, the third constructor does take in the initial state if you want to change it. Yeah. There's only one option left that you would want to use, it's true. But still, initial state. This one is important because maybe you want to create your own evaluation logic, which can look very different from the default evaluation logic. There will be a bool and a bool evaluator. Yeah, that's all. And the fourth constructor, you probably have already guessed it. It will also take, in addition to the last one, a condition type. Come on. All right. So much for our constructors. Don't forget our summaries here. Very important. Even though that I don't write them now, but never forget to write your summaries. It helps yourself and it helps other people, and you can very easily, well, first of all, you get all this IntelliSense nice added stuff, comments and stuff, you know, when you, it makes the life easier for everybody. So let's keep it that, just add them. Okay. So for this one, we override the manipulation method. And what we want to do, we just invert the current state. So true to false and false to true. Okay, that's our first Boolean rating condition. Very easy, very common, ready to go. We'll close that one and we will create some more rating conditions. Next we could create a count rating condition. That's also one that I think will be very common in heavy use. So I could, for example, think of if the user has triggered, or each time a user triggers some specific action, I will bump the count rating condition by 1, and if the user has triggered this action 10 times, I will ask him to review the app, for example. Okay, same thing here. We implement or inherit from rating condition base, and the type is of int. Yes, so again summary, and again Visual Studio tells us we don't implement all constructors that need to be implemented. So we will start, this class also will have, wait, let me see, how many did I write? 4 constructors for this one too. Okay, let me see. Just a second. Alright, let's get to writing that stuff. As always, the initial state, most preferably, or mostly it will be just 0, but yeah, there are probably many use cases, so pass that to our base class, initial state and the goal. So now we create an evaluator for this. So we take in as a parameter the current count, and now our default evaluation logic is as follows: if the current count is bigger or equal to the goal, then the condition is met. Yeah. Second constructor, count, rating, condition, int, also same stuff, initial state, goal. In addition to the previous, we will take the condition type. I don't know why condition is such a hard word to type. I am having serious problems with it. Initial state, again, current count. If it is bigger or equal to goal, the condition is met, and then we pass the condition type condition. Oh my god, please. There you go. Okay, next. Third. Public count rating condition. Again, the initial. I really don't want to assume that that the initial count or state will be always 0, so I do not add a parameterless constructor to this condition. Yeah, it's not hard to to define your initial state. Goal is also no, right, sorry. So next we add the constructor for your own evaluation logic. And then the same again, but add the condition type to it. What's that? Public count rating condition int manipulator and the condition type. Here we go. Anything else? Let's add the summaries as always. Never forget, never forget. And for this one we also override the manipulate state. The parameterless one. And basically we just bump the current count by 1 each time the state is manipulated. What the heck? Alright, that's our count rating condition. Very easy, very easy. I personally will use that one a lot. a lot. So we can close this one. This one is ready. Let me see, how many conditions do we have? We have a date time and a rating. Okay, so we will add one more. We have 3 left. I will add one more and then I will take a short break. I will probably also, just that you know, edit. I'm recording this stuff of course, and I will also edit and make probably smaller videos out of this and upload them also to YouTube. Okay, so let's create. Now we create a generic rating condition. This basically allows you to very easily create your own type of conditions without even without the need of creating your own classes in your project. So rating condition, it's public of course, and it takes the type parameter. Just a second. All right. Again, we inherit from the rating condition base. We give it the condition type, T condition type. We also need to specify the where stuff condition, not null. Alright, and again we need some constructors here. We will add 2. So for the generic condition, you have to create your own evaluator. There's just got a message from my manager there. He says everything is working very great. Oh yeah. Okay, so pass that over to our base. As always, don't forget the summaries here. And at the second, you probably already guess what we will add here. Yeah, you guessed it right. It's the condition type. And the summary. So that's our generic rating condition. Like already said, you can use that to easily create your own rating condition without the need of creating your own classes implementations. But of course you can use the rating condition base, you can inherit from it, and yeah, very easily create your own conditions. But just to add one option, okay, so we have two conditions left. Like I said, I will take a short break, and then we will at least add the remaining two conditions. And well, let's see. The rating gateway, it's actually a lot of code and a lot of explaining, so I'm not sure if we cover it on today's stream, but let's see. Now, short break. So, BRB. Alright. Alright. We are back. So, you know what we forgot? Right. To commit. We need to commit. Commit our code. Commit to the code. Okay? So, don't hit the delete button. Like I said, I like to keep it in small chunks. Fuck. Oh, sorry. You didn't hear me, right? That's too bad. That's too bad for you. I just said that you need to commit, and we forgot to commit, so now we commit. You really need to be committed to the code, you know? Alright. So, before our short break, we added this generic rating condition. We can close that one now. We had 2 conditions left to add. So let's jump right into the next one. We add a new class. Like I said already on the beginning, I did the heavy lifting already off stream, so now I'm just rewriting what I did already in the past 2 weeks. Okay. Next we will add a string match condition. It's basically will be a condition that will evaluate to true if, say, some parameter matches the initial state. I just thought there might be use for this, but it's probably not as much, not used as much as the count rating condition or the boolean condition. But anyways, so we inherit from rating condition base like always, and the type parameter is a string, and then again don't forget the summary and the constructors. Also for this one we have 4 constructors. One with just the goal, one second, So the initial value will be just an empty string, and our default evaluator is the current string. So if current string matches the goal, then we will evaluate to true. So much for that. Add the second constructor, which takes a condition type as second parameter this time. And the same as previous, just an empty string here, and the evaluator, the current string as parameter. If current string is goal, evaluate to true, and the condition type. Easy one. Third constructor. So here we will define an actual initial string value. I'm not sure why I add this one, but I thought maybe someone needs to set it, so just add it. What's wrong here? Oh. And the last. As always, the goal. String initial value. As you have noticed probably, oops, so unlike all the other conditions that we now created, this condition does not have a constructor that takes a custom evaluator. It's just, it's just because of the naming and of the condition type. It's a condition that checks if two strings match. So there is no sense that it makes no sense to add a custom evaluator to this one, so we keep it that way. And yeah, I mean, if there are needs to do that differently, you can always create your own string condition with your own evaluator. Okay, so close this one. And now we come to the last condition that we create. Just a second. Sorry. So the last condition that we add is a datetime expired condition. As you can already tell from the name, it will be a condition that will check whether which will evaluate to true after a specific amount of time. We will inherit, as always, from our rating condition base, and that parameter will be a datetime. Summary, very important, very important. Okay, now for the constructors we have two, and we add a private variable here. I will explain the use of it very soon. Okay, start adding the constructors. So this one will take a time span. Which will basically be used to specify the initial value for this condition. The idea is that when we set the initial value, it will be a point in the future, like say the time span is 1 day from now, so it will be tomorrow, is the initial value, and the current value will also be the initial value when we construct a condition. So okay, let's just do this here. So datetime UTC now, and we add the time span, the amount of time that is specified in the time span, and now to the evaluator. It's the date, the current state, and we check if datetime UTC now is bigger than date. So we set the initial and the current state of the condition to a future point, to a point in the future, and then we check if the current, if now, is bigger than the point in the future. If it is, that means that we are past that, and the condition evaluates to true. We also need to keep our parameter here in memory. So okay, add the second constructor. And we will take a condition type as parameter. Same logic as above. Datetime UTC now, add time from now, and then the evaluator. Just for consistency, rename that, and like above, we want to keep the value for later use. Okay, now so again, like in the previous condition that we created, the string match condition, this is a condition that is specifically created to check if a date, if we have passed a specific moment in time. So we don't add a constructor that takes an evaluator as parameter, because this is created just for this one specific task. So again, if you need to handle the evaluation of a datetime condition differently, you can create your own very easily. Just use this one as base for, yeah. Okay, now one more thing that we need to add here. We will override the reset method, which it looks that we did not make it virtual. Okay, so let's fix that. Even that I'm almost just copying from ready code that I made earlier, there is place for some bugs, as you can see. Okay, so we made it virtual now. We are able to override it. Reset, perfect. So we want to override this because when we reset it, we cannot just assign the initial value, because it would immediately be in the past. As you remember, we only reset, or in most cases we reset a condition after it was met. So in this case it would be the initial value would be in the past, so we need to fix that by specifying the same thing that we did earlier in the constructors, but inside of the reset method. That's why we saved the time span, so that we can use it here. So now we would, at the moment when we reset this condition, we would add the amount of time to now, to the moment we are when we reset. Clean up usings. Okay, let me see. There is a good bunch of conditions now. So these are conditions that I think are probably used the most. I might add some later, I don't know. You can of course contribute to this project. It is public, and I will put links to it in my video description. And of course you can also create your own for your own specific needs. So I think we are calling it for today. It's a good bunch of stuff that we now did here. That are all the conditions that we are going to add in this video series. Next steps will be to add the rating gateway, the actual rating gateway. After that we will add tests. You should always add tests. Always do unit tests for your code. It improves code quality so much. So always add unit tests. I like to write my code first and then write unit tests. Some do it the test-driven development way, which is quite the opposite of how I do it, I think. I don't know. But anyways. One thing that I'm still working on is the caching of the condition states, and first I thought I should create a plugin for my plugin to add this functionality, but I thought it's probably quite common that someone wants to cache the current value for their conditions, like account or whatever, So I just add it straight into the project. The problem I didn't want to add it was that I am probably using or adding dependencies to Xamarin Essentials for the actual caching process, writing the stuff to disk, but yeah, I thought Xamarin Essentials is probably used by so many Xamarin developers anyway, so it probably doesn't hurt to add it as a dependency to the project. Yeah, and of course we will also add the platform specific logic to open this review pop-ups. Each platform has its own way to handle this. iOS has this what was it called? I don't remember. But anyways, it opens the rating pop-up inside of your app, so the user doesn't have to go to the App Store to give your app a rating. And Android actually did also recently add the same feature, or a same feature to their core SDK, or what was it called? I can't remember, but anyways, yeah, but we will handle that also in the upcoming streams. But I hope you liked it. I hope this was not too confusing. This was my first stream, live coding stream, and yeah, I do also stream games. My latest game that I'm playing is Star Wars Fallen Order. So if you like that game, also come and visit me playing that. So, but well, I think that's all for today. So come back for part 2. I'm not sure when, probably tomorrow, but we will see. Subscribe so you will know when I'm live the next time. Have a nice evening or a nice day, whatever it is for you right now. Bye bye.